Лучше вы узнаете это в эфире по-хорошему, чем потом на улице по-плохому.
Okay, guys, as we promised you, we're going to have a guest today in our studio. That's City Council candidate Heshy Tischler, South Brooklyn 44th District. Welcome to our show. Thank you for coming.
Board. Hello, guys. Hello. Good morning. You know, I'm upset with both of you.
Okay, tell us why.
I was promised a latte.
Oh,
you know what a latte?
See, you're starting with the lie.
I know. Coffee.
That's
he
a
just said
politician
coffee.
thing.
I know. I'm terrible. I'm learning. I'm a street kid, and that's how I learned to do things. I'm sorry.
You were born in New York?
Brooklyn, New York, my boy.
So
I'm Bensonhurst, Borough Park, Brighton Beach. This is my territory.
So we had a few words, before the show, actually, with you. Very nice guy. Thank you for sharing your position. But let's talk to the audience. Where you came from.
Well, I was born and bred in this town, Borough Park and Bensonhurst, but my father passed away when I was 13 years old. He was a Holocaust survivor. And for some of your audience that doesn't understand, he was in the concentration camp. He was a soldier. He was captured by the Germans. He had the numbers on his hand. They killed 7 out of 10 of his family members. And my father found 2 of his sisters. One couldn't have children. She was operated on by the Germans. And he made his way to New York. And he built a new life. He didn't want to get married. He was an older man, Holocaust war. And he ended up, like my wife, tricking me to marriage. You know how these women are. That was a joke, ladies. 33 years to my wife, beautiful Linda. She has a lot of money, so I can't leave her. How come he's not laughing? Why? He's the one who promised me the coffee.
He's jealous. That is why he's not laughing.
And my mother and him were in love. And then my father sat me down when I was 13. He says, Heshy, I'm not going to make it. And he passed away a month after my bar mitzvah when I became 13 years old. And he told me a bunch of stories of the Holocaust. And he taught me how to be a man. And he said to me, Heshy, it's time for you to take over the family. And he told me a terrible story about the Holocaust. I don't want to scare your audience, but it was a tough story. And it inspired me for the rest of my life. And I took care of my 2 brothers and my Down syndrome sister, who's still alive with me. Me and Linda have been married for 33 years with 21 foster kids, or not foster kids, I'm sorry, special children that came through our house that needed a little help and guidance. And they've done great. They're children. I'm an uncle 122 times. I've built my family. I'm a grandfather. They call me Big H. I don't know, maybe about 40 times. They like Linda more. She made me the tough one. It's not fair. It was the woman that was the problem. She used to say, Heshy, go get them. But I have 3 of my own boys, 3 of my own grandchildren, and I've been serving this community for over 40 years, fighting to help children out of jail. I go visit the jails every 2 weeks upstate. I even have some apartments when they come home. We take out older people when they come home. They have nowhere to go or no family, so they come live by me. So me and Linda have been doing a lot of community service, and my most proudest thing that me and Linda, we are involved with a food distribution program that we feed 151 families every week. We bring them food boxes for the Shabbos. That's the Sabbath. A nice package to feed a family of 5, Friday and Saturday, and a little bit of Sunday. And we've been fighting the city. I've been fighting the city. There are 300 government agencies learning how to take people through the red tape from fighting for their houses, their vacate orders. And you guys are going to say, well, Heshy, you only do Borough Park or South Brooklyn. Oh, no. I work in all 5 boroughs. My 21 kids we had Muslim kid, Spanish kid, black kid. My oldest one is a black kid. He came into my, I'm sorry about the phone. I thought I shut it off. He came into my office one day looking for his father, and everybody says, who's your father? He says, Heshy. And they looked at him. He says, what, you have a problem that he doesn't look like me? And I said, we really do look alike. Just that there's we were both fat. But that's what me and Linda do. We serve our community, and I moved to Borough Park when we got married. We've been there ever since, but we've served, during the COVID pandemic or whatever you guys called it, which we didn't believe. We opened our parks. We opened our house to people. We brought children in. We fought the city. I was willing to go to jail, and I'm going to tell you, I want to tell you a story. Can I tell you a story?
Sure.
You might appreciate it, but it's going to make you nervous. When I was a little boy, my father sat me down. He said, I'm not going to make it. And I've told you this. My father said, I want to tell you a story, Heshy, and he witnessed the second part of the story. So whatever you people want to tell me, you believe it or not, my father said there were two gentlemen who lived in the ghetto in Europe before the Germans took them to their concentration camp. One name was Mr. Friedman. He had a wife, a daughter, a son. And there was another guy, Mr. Epstein, his buddy. Mr. Epstein became a capo. A capo is somebody that joined the Germans. Right, and he beat up the Jews worse than the Germans. One day, Mr. Epstein and Mr. Friedman bumped into each other in the ghetto. And he was with two German soldiers, and they started to push Mr. Friedman around, make fun of him. You know, you've seen the movies. One of the German Nazi pigs took out his gun and shot Mr. Friedman's wife right there on the street. The next animal took out his gun in front of Mr. Friedman and shot the daughter. Right there. Mr. Friedman was in shock. The next animal was ready to kill the little boy when Mr. Epstein took out his stick and beat his friend. Beat him! Beat him! It's exactly the way my father told me. Mr. Friedman lay dead on the street, blood running. Right before they were going to kill the little boy, Mr. Epstein saw the Jews ready to riot a little bit. He says, listen, guys, let me take the kid into the woods. We'll kill him, and nobody will see. The Germans laughed. They said, go take him. Mr. Epstein grabbed the little boy, went into the woods, and my father tells me that's the end of the story. Now my father tells me he witnessed part two. Witnessed. My father never lied to me. Survivor. He says, Heshy, Mr. Friedman lived. Somehow he lived. They picked him up, and he lived through the war. And he came to move here in Brooklyn, Borough Park. My father came here. Now, back then, you know, today we have a mosque and a church and a synagogue on every corner, 10 people, 50 people, everywhere you go. But back then in Borough Park, which is now with 330,000 people that I'm going to be representing, as well as I'm going to represent all of New York, there was about 15 or 20 synagogues. And back then, on the Sabbath, 250 men, 250 women, because there was nowhere else to go. Mr. Friedman survived and became a sexton, like a gabbai, an assistant in the synagogue. And he helped out. He had no family. He collected the books. He called people up to the Torah. He was a nice man. One of the Shabbos, on the Sabbath, when we have a guest that comes to the synagogue, we call them up to make a special blessing at the Torah. That's what we do. As Mr. Friedman stood on the podium, they called up a name. And Mr. Friedman, somehow it clicked in his head, this name. Got a little nervous. As the man walked down the aisle to come up to the podium, Mr. Friedman turned white. As the guy came up to make the blessing, Mr. Friedman started to scream, murderer! Murderer! Mm-hmm. You killed my family! He started to cry. The synagogue, 500 people became quiet. Mr. Friedman again started to scream, you killed me! You killed my wife and children! Mr. Epstein said, Mr. Friedman, I can't believe you lived. He grabbed Mr. Friedman. I can't believe you lived, my friend. And as Mr. Friedman had tears coming down and the women were crying, he says, I don't understand you. You killed me. Why do you even call me a friend? He says, you don't understand. The rabbi of the town told me to become a capo. He says, maybe I can save one person. They killed your wife and daughter. There was nothing I could do. You were next. So I took my stick. I beat you. Maybe you lived, maybe not. I grabbed your son. I ran into the woods and I kept running and running and running. He points to the back of the synagogue. That's your son. The son came running down the aisle. The father and son hugged, and the whole synagogue started dancing. Siman Tov and Mazel Tov. This is where my father finishes the story. He says, Heshy, as I saw everybody dancing and crying, I looked up. I saw the angels dancing with us. This 13-year-old kid, I said, Pop, really? You saw the angels? He says, Heshy, I swear I saw the angels dancing. My father tells me, he said, I don't know if I'm going to make it much longer. He said, I'm not going to give you a blessing. You know, we all bless our children, our friends. You know, we all do that. He said, I can't give you any real blessing, Heshy, of health or happiness or wealth. It's up to you to get that done. Stay healthy, raise your family, do whatever you have to do. The only blessing I'm going to give you that I want you to do something special that you see the angels dance. All my life, I need to see those angels dance. So I do good, not so much to see the angels dance, but I want to do good. I want to help my community members. I want to help people that are in trouble. I see how lucky I am, how lucky my father was that he made it out, even though he lost 7. My mother only lost 2 out of the 12 that she had. So I believe in my community. I believe in this great country that my father was an immigrant, legal immigrant, came here with my mother. I believe in immigration. I believe in my community. Remember, my father marched in the 60s with the civil rights to blacks. We knew the Russian community as they came in the 80s. So I was here before you guys. I've been friends with everybody. The Bukhari community, the Jewish community, the black community. I've been mingling all over the five boroughs. This is my city. I believe it's my country too. I'm not leaving. I love Israel. I support Israel. I've traveled the world when I was younger. But my job is to support my city. I am the first generation born here, but second generation American. My children were third, and I had my grandchildren fourth. So I love this country. I want other people to love this country. I want to help other people to make this country greater. Yes, we've gone through a tough time now. And you're going to say to me, Heshy, who do you think you are? I know the city red tape. I've been doing this for 40 years. I help people with their taxes. I have 2 hours constituent service. I do a lot of pro bono work for many of the Russian community, for the Jewish community, for the black community. I have people in trouble with their homes, their apartments, their co-ops, their stop work orders, their vacate orders. I have their children being arrested, so I'm friendly with the cops. Yes, I do have to make a deal sometimes with the devil. It bothers me. On the last time I was arrested, I'm sorry I'm embarrassing you guys, but I've been arrested many times. My wife is begging me to stop, otherwise she won't buy me no more neckties. She paid $55 for this one.
That's nice.
No, it's not. This is a girly
nice.
tie. It's girl.
It's nice.
Oh, stop it. You know you don't like the tie.
I like the tie.
He's a man.
I don't wear ties.
I never did either. Now they're forcing me. My wife, she's just the boss. I don't know why I let her be in charge. Anyways, so my point is I want to continue helping my community. I'm 60 years old now. I'm ready to retire, but I see that the red tape that they do, the hoops they make us jump through. During COVID, they tricked us. They raised our taxes by 18%. How do you do that? But that's not so bad. If you pay late while they didn't let us collect rent, they gave us a 9% gangster fine. So they got us there. They have congestion pricing, raising our stuff in the city. That I just drive through Manhattan, I have to pay a tax or a toll.
New Jersey's probably suing them now.
But it makes no difference. They put the cameras on. You think they're going to beat us? You know,
they might.
Come on, during COVID, I sued the city 5 times to keep our synagogues and schools open. We won. And then they found another way to create a new emergency rule. If they want to beat you, the city council has a special group of lawyers that they're able to go around the Constitution of the United States and figure out a way to create new legislation to trick us. Every month, 30 to 40 pieces of new legislation are issued, 300 pages thick. Do you believe those idiots read them? Some of them don't even know how to read English. You're telling me they do it, they read a little blurb. They're out there to create ways to give us, to restrict us, to put us in our place, to take more taxes, to rip our stores apart, during COVID, Borough Park alone got $51 million in fines. They were giving us criminal tickets for standing 2 people in a store. Are you joking with me? Now, you have all these government agencies that pull in a lot of money. Each one of these agencies have 5 commissioners, then a head commissioner, then chiefs, then officers. During COVID, they were able to intermingle with each other. That means the sanitation police were able to give you criminal tickets. The building department was able to give you health department tickets. The health department were able to close down building sites and fine you. Now, here's my plan. If you were able to do that during COVID, and I go to these agencies, sometimes they make me sit in the lobby while they're playing with their telephones. If you're able to do that during COVID, why can't we do it during the year? Me alone, by combining just 5 government agencies, I can cut your budget down by $4 billion. We have money that we give out to an agency that just thinks of where to put plaques. I swear to you, I know you think I'm joking. We have special needs children that come to my office. I have a special needs office that the parents have to pay $115 per visit. $300 a month. That's 12 months. That's $4,000 a year. I don't know if you guys have that money. I can't even afford a coffee or a latte. You better buy me one. Yeah. If you don't make a buy me one, we have to get it. You're talking $4,000. I don't know where you have that. Now, this money is assigned. There's $160 million. My people, I asked them, they said, we only get $15 per visit. Where's the other $100? And these people have to bring their children because they're special needs kids. And there's, I love special needs kids, especially with my sister who's 53 years old, Down syndrome. We take care of her. She lives with me. And my beautiful wife helps me take care of her. We need our seniors. sometimes we don't get special aid, or we do get an aid, or we don't have special money, or we need a little bit extra. Heshy, well, there's no money. There is the money there. You just went from an $80 billion budget to $112 billion. Where do you think that money's coming from? We're going to have to raise the tolls. We're going to have to raise your taxes. We're going to have to raise your prices. We're going to have to ticket you more on the street. Well, Heshy, we need that money. No. Use those people instead of giving us tickets on the street. Move the traffic along. How are you going to solve the traffic problem? I've come up with a 5-point plan with the mayor, how to create and ease traffic congestion in South Brooklyn, in the Borough Park, Flatbush area, Brighton Beach, Manhattan Beach. Create better parking areas, to move the parking along with special buses during the day, not to have trucks triple park. Have you ever been stuck behind a triple park truck for 15 minutes?
Right.
And the UPS guy or Amazon guy says, go jump in the lake, I'm going to go out there. I have ways to solve those problems. I'm not trying to brag that I'm smarter than the rest of you or have wings, but over the last 40 years, I've been able to open up thousands of buildings, save people hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines, help people with their mortgages. Now, I don't do that stuff, but I help them along with their paperwork. I help their brokers. I help their real estate people. I help them with their violations of fines. I legalize their homes. If somebody does something illegal, I teach them in compliance. I know the laws. When I ran for election twice before, I didn't know what I was doing. I figured just put myself on the ballot, and the community people that know me well would vote for me. Heshy Tischler. My name is pretty popular. I don't advertise my business. When you know me, you come to me. From your children being arrested in the middle of the night to a lady recently that she was driving her car. She had a ticket, and she didn't pay her ticket on time, so they suspended her license.
Right.
She didn't know. She paid the ticket. So what happened was when she was driving on a Friday, they arrested her. They pulled her over. They arrested her with 2 kids in the car. They called me. I came running over there crying. The police know me well. I got her out on a desk appearance ticket. Well, I should have been home. I was setting up a table for 12 people. Took her kids, made sure the husband got it, got her out of jail 2 hours later. During COVID, we had a man that I knew well. He passed away, and he had a wife and 4 children. And he was suffering. He was about 65 years old, a little older than me, but a nice man. I work in the house. I don't work, I'm sorry. I volunteer for 30 years, visiting people, make them smile, telling them stories. I don't really hear their stories. I tell them about my foot, my wife, how she tortures me, and my wife tortures me every day. So I have a lot of stories for people. Of course, you see the white hair. I color it with $7.95. And I go visit them, and this man was dying. And finally, we asked the doctor, can we please go and say the final prayers for him? He was still up. So the wife and daughters went in, and they went to say the final prayers. Some nurse had an attack during COVID. You know, they had crazy people. I made a demonstration. 1,400 people died in my hospital. I watched them being neglected, not because they didn't have the medicine or the vaccine. They let them sit there and rot with the stupid Mayor de Blasio's rules. And I fought Mayor de Blasio, and that's why he had me arrested in front of my house. By the way, 2 warrant officers, 4 detectives, 7 cop cars came to get me. I'm more popular than El Chapo, so you guys better come vote for me. And we stood there, and the cops came, and we told them that we got permission from the doctor. No, COVID. I said, what COVID? You don't even wear masks. So they arrested their wife. They arrested the daughter for sitting and fighting. 3 of the kids they wanted to put in the mental institution. I got them out of there. And 6 hours later, they promised they would release this woman. When they wouldn't release the woman, for what? For visiting her dying husband. I got to the police station. They said, what are you going to do, Heshy? What are you going to do, make another protest? I said, no. I'm going to jail for sure this time. I'm going to bring all my people. I'm going to attack you in that police station. I'm going to rip down every block and brick over here if you don't let them out. You're threatening us? I said, you better believe it. You're my friends. I help you out all these years. I bring food. I want that lady out of there. And the people started to get a little crazy. 10 minutes later, I had her out. We followed her back to the hospital. I asked her not to go, and she went back in, and they let her in alone. That night, the man passed away. We have to care for our fellow neighbors. You don't have to join the army or do anything big. Bring a loaf of bread. During COVID, I used to drop off bread, orange juice, knock on the doors of my tenants. I have a small little place that I have tenants. I had a fight with the Department of Buildings and HPD. That's what I do every day, fight government agencies. And we went to court. I go to court a lot. People say, oh, you have a lot of lawsuits. My lawsuits are for the people. So one day I'm sitting there in court and I'm fighting with both, and the judge looks at me. He says, Mr. Tischler, I think you're right. I couldn't believe it. Usually I'm never right with these judges. He says, I want to appoint you as a receiver for the city. I said, I will not work for the city. My job is to fight the city. He says, if you take on this building, I'll give you other stuff, and I want you to be their boss. I said, really? I'm the boss of the DOB and HBD on the buildings that I assigned to you. These inspectors can't take it that I can tell them what to do. My buildings, even though the city loses money, are profitable for the city and for the landlords. I help the tenants. I help the landlords. I make the quality of life better for them. It's already my 4th project for the city. But again, I'm independent. I don't work for the city. I'm the one who makes the reports. I don't make a lot of money doing it, but it makes me feel good by making the quality of life of these people better. So recently, I'm going to tell you one more story and I'll shut up. I know I don't shut up. I told you not to bring me on the show. If you would have bought me a coffee, I would be quiet. Where's my coffee?
You would never
Can I get a
less.
latte? Are you going to buy me a latte? It's
Sure.
$5. It's
Right.
$5. It's not $2. You know what I mean? $5 lattes. I can't afford that. It's $55 tie. Anyways, so I was at a building and the city agency was torturing this building 500 times. And we were right, but every time they get in there, they find something if they want. And I found a way to keep them out with their court orders, with everything. One day at nighttime, I was called at 4:30 that these inspectors are coming in. And I told them, you're not coming in. The First Amendment, ladies and gentlemen out there, no matter who you are, no matter you have a green card or not, we have rights in this country. First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, 14th Amendment. Nobody's allowed in your house. I don't care if they show you a badge or a gun. I don't care if you're dressed or not dressed. Nobody gets into that house. And if they try to give you a liar story, call Heshy Tischler. I'm online. I'm an email. I run all day long. Besides volunteering in the hospital and working my 8-10 hour shift, at nighttime I go to different events. I go to people's funerals. Morning, they say, oh, you're doing it for political reasons. I've been doing it for 30 years, me and Linda, preparing food packages, little ones that we drop off because maybe you don't have food that night. Not that you don't have, but you're sitting in mourning and you're sad. Some people have, some people don't have. I supported an organization, Misaskin, that brought chairs and special religious
Sefer Torah,
that
right.
bring Sefer Torah. I gave them money every year. I was part of Chaverim. So anyways, I'm at this building and these HPD inspectors come and I, of course, quote their laws and codes and I get rid of them. I'm sitting there, I was ready to leave and I'm sitting on the phone texting. You know how we all get busy. All of a sudden, a supervisor shows up at 6 o'clock. I see him running in, trying to push bells. I quickly run. I said, where you going? I told you can't come in. I told you the Lord, if I refuse you can't come in. I'm coming in. I don't like you. And I blocked him at the door. I'm a big fat guy. And I blocked him. He pushed me, pushed his way in. Big deal, Bumped my hand, scratched my foot. I said, you just hit me and pushed me. You committed a crime. I said, I don't care, but I want you out of the building. And I blocked his secondary door. He says, I bumped my head, which was a lie. And of course, I, as not only a radio show host, but which I have a show, which if you don't mind me promoting, you don't have to listen to it. I tell people when you listen to my show, you fall asleep faster. But my wife does. I tell a joke about her every show. So anyways, he called the cops on me to arrest me. Now, these cops are my cops in my precinct. They know me. They came and they said, what happened? I told them the story and I showed them the videotape. He says, I bumped my head. I said, it's not. Look, we videotaped you and I always have somebody with me. The cops arrested the inspector. They were shocked. I said, I want him arrested. He's trying to enter the building and he tried to break the law and the code. The next day I got a call from my HPD director. He says, Heshy, you can't arrest one of our people. I said, I'm not one of your people. Get it out of your head. I am a resident of this city. I'm a citizen. I'm a neighbor. I'm a fighter for my community. If one of your city people do something bad, they're going to jail. I fight the city. I'll join you. So you're telling me why you're running for city council? I've been fighting with these people outside the rules, outside the box, one at a time. Put me in there. One of 51 members. Put me in there. I will start fighting from the inside. Maybe I can win, maybe I can't. Give me my 2 years. I've done so well. I have a track record of fighting the city, of taking care of children, of giving my life to the city. You asked me upstairs why you're doing it. You're 60 years old. I'm now at the prime of where I'm experienced, besides going to jail, besides knowing the system, besides being abused, besides living on the streets as a kid of 13 years old, raising a family, taking care of my own family. I know the game. I don't know if I know the game from the inside because these politicians are dirty and they play dirty and I don't. I don't lie, I don't steal except for coffee and latte.
Guys, I'm all for radio.
Okay,
for this, right?
I know, I got that. But you're going to get me. I promise you, I'm going to get you for that coffee latte. He's going to make you do it. I don't lie, I don't steal. That's the only promise you're getting out of me. I will be transparent. I'm going to stand up in that city council and tell you what those 51 members doing. I'm going to tell you how they trick you. I'm not going to let them pass bill after bill after bill without reading it. I will stop everyone. I have that power. I'm going to be friendly with the mayor. I'm friendly with Mayor Adams. I hated de Blasio. He fought with me. But Mayor Adams did come to Borough Park. He did help me get my community from red to yellow. They let me do the testing. That's why my community went, because their tests were fake. I showed proof their tests were fake. My tests were real, and we paid for it. You have to do things yourself. I don't micromanage, but I build a good team around me. I'm pretty intelligent. I'm smart. I've learned the streets. I'm from the streets. You see a suit and tie? Yeah, I have to wear it for you. It's something they forced me to do. My campaign manager screamed at me this morning, "You better look good for that." I said, "Really?" And I do. I mean, I'm always well put together. Of course, I work with the city. I've gone to court so many times. I know how to represent myself. And no, I'm not a lawyer. I am a representative. That means I can do administrative law. I have 3 lawyers working for me, 4 expediters, 3 architects. They work for me. People come to me with the problems. I solve the solution. I come up with the defenses. Yes, I go to administrative court. Now I'm a little too busy, so I don't do that. So I have my own lawyers doing it. And then we do pro bono work. I have people from all the communities calling me. I have a problem speaking Russian. I'm sorry. I tried. It's a hard language. I got Yiddish down pat. I got some Chinese, very few. Hungarian, I'm a pro at because my mother used to curse me in Hungarian. She thought I didn't understand those bad words. And of course, my English and a little bit of Hebrew, but I know how to make my way around. I know how to communicate. I know how to find somebody. So if you're telling me I'm not going to represent my people, my city is my people. This is my city. I don't care who you are. I work in every borough, every community, every neighborhood. I have people that love me from all over. And then I'm sad to tell you, I have people that don't like me, and I don't know why. And some people have told me, "Well, Heshy, you're too loud. You're too overbearing. You scream during COVID. You embarrass us." If you're not going to have your voice heard, then sit there quietly and let them get you. I'm not going to let them get me. I'm not going to let my voice be quiet. And if I can have my voice help others, I'm going to do it. I'm going to embarrass them, but I'm not going to let them tyrannize my children. We have our children going into public school, and I have no problem with that. 13% graduate with some kind of brains. You know, the murders and the rapes and the shootings and the bullyings in public schools are so terrible. The private schools, almost zero, especially in the Jewish schools. I want a voucher program that allows people to put their... Now you're going to say, "Heshy, we don't have the money." Go ahead, take all of our children and put them into public school. You'll bankrupt the system, let alone they won't know what to do. I'm not asking for, each child in public school is paid, it costs us about $25,000 to $30,000. I'm not asking for that. I'm asking for $10,000 to $12,000. $10,000 for the tuition, $2,000 for some essentials for books and supplies and traveling. That's it. This will ease the tension of the parents. That means all these parents who want to put them in private or better schools can now go get a grant from these schools.
Right.
So now I can raise another $8,000. And if you're income, these schools will give you a discount. So it won't cost us $30,000. I can educate my child, but now it's not only better educate my child. Give him, if the child is a little bit, has special needs, to give him a shadow. A lot of these children have that. But I can also keep my baby safe. At nighttime, I can think. They have do you know that in our community in Brooklyn, we have no aftercare programs? A lot of the other boroughs or districts have it. Borough Park, Flatbush, Brighton Beach, Manhattan Beach. We don't have it. We have to create our own aftercare programs. Now, a lot of you parents out there, at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you have to run home. You have a job, pick up my kid. I'm going to be in trouble. The bus will leave him alone. Why can't we have an aftercare program to watch our babies from 4 to 5 to 7 o'clock? Give us a break, not give us the pressure of running. I'm a grandfather. Sometimes my kids call me. I have a busy day, and I love to go pick up my babies. So I go running to pick up my grandchildren. Not everybody could do that. I want a program that will do it. So I'm helping people to create home daycare centers and legalize them, but you have to pay $15, $20 an hour. Now, even though you're working those extra hours, you have to pay for that. I want a city that has the money, that gives it to the other boroughs. And my last thing I'm going to pitch all of you. Maybe a lot of you don't understand, and I've gone through it personally. A lot of times women have children. And then if you're a little older, you go through a postpartum depression. I had 102 suicides this year in my hospital. Young women, young kids. I don't know what to tell you. You want me to cry? I cry every day. I see people with mental illness issues. We're not taking care of it. The last mayor stole $1.5 billion, or his wife did, or we lost it, or I don't know, magically delicious, somebody got it. I want to be able to run a committee that watches mental health, that creates a better program to help our women that go through postpartum depression, because it ruins the families, it ruins the children, it creates divorces, it puts us through a lot of help. And sometimes a little pill or a little bit of psychological help. Borough Park, Flatbush, Midwood has, 2 drug centers? How many youth centers do you think we have? 2 or 3 when other communities have like 20, 30, 40? Why don't we have those programs? Give our children the options. I try. And this is what I do on a one-to-one level. I want to do it on a greater level, a grander scale, and maybe I'll be successful, maybe not. But I'm 60 years old, like I told you before. I don't need to be, people make fun of me, you're going to be president, governor, senator, city council. I want to fix my city. I want to fight for my residents. I have 8 million people here that I can help, and I have hundreds of thousands in my community that I can help. I've done it. I have a history of doing it. I have a track record of doing it. And that's where I want to go. Do my term and go on my merry way and see what I could do better on a personal level. And I have the time now and the patience that I can commit to it. Now I'll be quiet. Anything else?
That's
I
it,
think
ladies and
everything
gentlemen.
is gonna be
Ladies
fine.
and gentlemen, City Council candidate Heshy Tischler, South Brooklyn, District 44.
You can check my website, heshytischler.com, or you can email me, justenoughheshy. And if you want to come November 7th, and I could use as much help, I have 30 poll sites. I could use people for the day, just one day. Just come out, stand there, give out pamphlets and flyers at every single poll site. I need about 100 people. Come out and stand for me. Come out a couple hours for me. Come there. I'll even buy you a coffee and sandwiches.
Latte.
No, latte. I cannot afford. You're buying me the latte. Can you please have a chat with your boy over here?
It's on the record. It's on the record.
Come out and help me. My office is on 53rd Street and 16th Avenue. My phone number is on the website, 718-288-7844. I'm going to say it again, 718-288-7844. My phone is on. I have justenoughheshy at gmail.com, heshytischler.com. I want to win this. I'm not asking you for money. I'm asking you to come help me, to tell your friends about me, to care. And when I get there, anybody can call me from all the city, from all the boroughs. I'm not going to be just running around. Everybody knows I help everybody in all boroughs. And I thank you, delicious men, for your time.
Thank you.
And I can go back on my merry day, and you're giving me $5 now.
Right.
And one more thing, actually, if you have a busy schedule on November 7th, the early voting starts on October 28th.
Yeah.
So you can manage your time, and come and vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear
once again,
friend.
City
It's an
By
Council-
the way, you are both. My house is open on Shabbos. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but the Shabbos meal. So if you need a meal, I always set up extra plates. If somebody's stuck, you can call me before Shabbos, and we'll make sure. I even have place for you to sleep in the house. It's on the floor. I have blow-up mattresses. We could put up to 50. But I do have people, and I do have people from jail that come to me. So you're always welcome, especially you two guys. You can bring your wife or your significant other or whatever you have. I don't care. And be my guest. Come, especially you, because you'll buy the coffee. I don't like this one,
All right, thank
That's
you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Have a great
Good
weekend.
luck.
Have a great show. Thank you so much. And I'll be back. I'm going to talk.